Hi, everyone. Welcome back to another
Hi.
episode of Two Kims.
One pod.
I'm your host, Peter Kim.
I'm your other host, Unji Kim.
And here we are. We're one day past what could possibly be the most... I don't know how to feel about this. So yesterday, Trump was shot at his rally.
Yes.
His ear was grazed, and he had bloody streaks on his face, and he pumped his fist out as his Secret Service detail
Right.
tried to get him off the stage. If you guys don't know already, this has happened July 13th. Now, I have been going into a deep dive of who this shooter is, what's going on. There's a lot of conspiracy theories about it being staged.
Yes.
And the FBI's raiding his home. Now I just saw a New York Times alert saying that they found two
Explosives,
bombs,
yeah.
and then a third one possibly in his home. So it's leaning towards not staged, although he is a registered Republican, it sounds like.
Yes.
20 years of age, a child, by the way.
Yes.
So, I'm having trouble kind of like wrapping my brain around this. Like, this feels like we haven't really seen this since like the Reagan shooting or the Reagan attempt, and before that, Kennedy's. So like it's a very like specific time. We've all joked about a scenario like this. All
Yes.
comics have since Trump. And now that it has happened, I'm having like mixed emotions about it. Like, I don't want anyone to be shot. I don't want anyone to be killed.
Right.
But
people did. I mean, he died, and someone on the shooter was killed along with another person
In the
at the
crowd.
rally in the crowd.
who was shot by him?
But who was shot
The
by him.
shooter. Yeah.
The shooter. There were many shots that rang out. I mean, the political violence notwithstanding, which could be argued, this period and the ferment was started January 6th.
Yes.
It's been within the liberal media a constant drumbeat, and to which the Fox News people have been saying was shrill and overplayed about the heightened language occurring within the conservative movement around, like, towards each other. The language has been very violent, right? The sentiment is very aggressive. The division that's being sowed between the two parties and like the two quote unquote sides of this have felt like increasingly like antagonistic in a way that like it's been a part of the conversation. It's part of the reason why people don't like Trump. It's part of the reason why people love Trump. Like, this exact feeling that's been fomenting. And now with January 6th, we saw what it looked like to do that, right? And now we're seeing what it looks like inside of their own community when you have this much sort of anger that's being stoked. Because that's part of Trump's charm, is that he makes men feel, and like people that feel angry, he reflects back to them their anger being justified. Right?
For sure.
It's not only
like
just
any demagogue. Yeah.
Yes.
But it just doesn't really make sense to me. This kid is 20 years old.
Yeah.
He's a registered Republican, but he's never voted because he's 20, which means he turned 18 2 years ago in the middle of an election cycle. So, and
the pandemic.
Yeah. And so, political violence doesn't feel right to me. This doesn't feel like, why would it be?
I mean, every single assassination attempt has been done by someone who has been deeply mentally unwell. Like from McKinley on. Like, it's always a very ardently,
this doesn't feel like
strident,
politically...
But it feels political in their mind. Like, the same thing. The Reagan guy wasn't political. It was like the Jodie Foster person. But, I mean... Like,
that's what I mean. Like, this doesn't feel like taking out a adversary.
I mean,
You
same
know what I
thing
mean?
with
Like,
even like Lee Harvey Oswald. Like, what was the beef there? Jack Ruby, what was the beef there? Like that.
well,
when we talk about
were they beefing
so-
on their own,
or
were they
was
paid to
there-
beef?
I mean, that's sort of the
And
other
why
part
was this
about this.
shooter shot
And
after
why-
he shot,
And the thing is,
like killed, so he can't speak?
I mean, yeah, same with the Lee Harvey. I mean, like all
That's
of it
what I
is, like,
mean.
yes, yeah.
It's
I mean,
all
of
the
course,
same playbook.
Listen, I am someone that has been a part of the conspiracy train since I was 12. Okay,
Asian Joe Rogan.
Thank you. I keep saying that. Let's put it out into the universe. I got no
AKR.
scruples. Yeah, and I'm looking to go to Europe, baby. I need these dollars. So, like, I mean, I came of age in the era of X-Files. Like, yes, trust no one. Like, absolutely.
So if you had to make a guess, what's going on? What's your conspiracy?
I will say that I don't feel like I know enough to give you a good conspiracy. How about that?
How about
I
a bad one?
I think that it makes sense that someone inside of Trump's campaign paid someone to do this. And the thing that
Agreed.
made me feel scared was with the recent Supreme Court ruling that anything that comes out subsequent to this will make Trump there will be no recourse for anything that he may do. Right. So even if it's like, let's imagine a scenario like Watergate, right, where Nixon wasn't directly responsible for ordering them breaking into the DNC. He was complicit in the cover up, right? And that occurred while he was president. And that the very same thing could happen with this, right? Trump may find out something regarding this scheme and this plan, and then because he is president, be a part of the cover up, and because he is president, we are unable to have any sort of recourse as a people, and that is the part that a scenario that is the most troubling, and to me signals that maybe this is like conspiracy sort of stuff, where it's like they saw him like needing to do something like this and cleared the way. So there is no legal recourse for us.
Everything
as
is
the people of
justified
United
now.
States.
Yeah.
For us, the people, we have no recourse.
The way
we cannot
he stopped the Secret Service from protecting his life so that he can get back up to the podium and fist pump to stoke the USA. Come on.
It's like, it's one of those things
It's
where
too
you know someone's
perfect.
It's like how you know when someone is lying when they give you too many details.
Boom.
When they come back to just give you a little bit too much.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly.
Like you should have just because you know.
And I was in a Honda Civic.
Yes.
Like, yeah.
And it's like all of that because, you know, Trump is a terrific showman, not a great actor.
No.
Right? Home Alone 2, horrible. He's like, he is a great brand and version and showman and a snake oil salesman, no doubt. I'm not impugning his those abilities at all. I am just saying it was just it was one cherry too many on top.
And here's what this is what I'm the most upset about is he did that, and now every single outlet is printing that image.
This is what I mean. He's a great showman. Like, he understood what the brand was going to look like. He knew. He saw the front page. He saw the front page scroll. He saw the front page scroll.
Yes.
It would be crazy if it was like a squib and he went like
New York Post headline.
Like just.
Yeah. No.
Like he saw it.
He
it looks like
knew exactly what he was doing. And by the way, the fact that the New York Post falsely accused a Chinese man of being the shooter without any evidence at all.
Listen to me. I love
Rupert
that the
Murdoch.
I love
Fox
that the
News,
Post stays the Post. You always stay true to yourself. The Post. Don't ever change.
A rag.
Truly,
but here's
don't
the thing,
ever change.
The fact that they said a Chinese man of all people in Bumblefuck, Pennsylvania. Like, what's that about? Why would you say that? Why would you
I wonder if there was like a playbook, like there was a play within the playbook that they were supposed to triangulate around like a Chinese guy, and then Rupert didn't read the latest draft. And so he was still going off of the old. And so, you know what I mean? You know, when like on set, you like rewrite drafts and like you have to be on top because there's like, you know, you're still reading the yellow version. We've already moved on to green. So he was still reading
like,
the
it's yellow for sure.
So, you know, it's
and here's what, like the fact that everyone's running that picture of him doing this, albeit evocative for sure.
I mean,
feel,
as a business, of course, you know.
I feel it's so.
You're running that photo too. Come on. You wouldn't?
I think it's gonna because you're adding to the building of a legend. You're adding to the mythology of this demagogue. Like you could do the one where he's holding his ear like a little bitch. Like why this one? You know what I mean? Like you don't think your paper is going to sell after the day a former president that's running is getting fucking shot at? You don't think people are going to read that because they don't see a picture? How
about this?
I don't know, man.
Peter, to me.
And the New York Times, I have beef with New York Times right now. The editors are too conservative. They are, I'm not happy with the way they are covering Trump. They are really aggrandizing this man again. Like CNN is doing it again. Like we did this 8 years ago, and we were all pissed off at our news media, Jeff Zucker, to be like, why did we fucking do that? Why did we create this like affable con man that we all were like, yeah, bring him into our fucking government. We went through 8 years of this already, and now we're doing it all over again. It feels fucking disgusting, and I'm sick of it. I'm sick of the way he's being covered like he is some kind of fucking hero. You know what I mean? Like, it's disgusting. Just so that you can like...
Do you think that it's going to... I mean, when I heard that he had not been seriously injured, that he was totally fine, and I saw the pictures, Peter, it's over. Like, it's...
What do you mean it's over?
I mean, he's won. Like there's just no.
I mean, he's won anyway. My point, it doesn't.
But it was
not
much
like
closer. But I also don't even know the polls now. The polls now. The 1, 2, 3
punch of him and Biden at the debate, plus George Stephanopoulos, plus the presser. Yeah. It was game over. They were begging him to. George Clooney was begging him to step down.
I couldn't believe that.
I mean,
he's a major player inside the DNC right now, just as a fundraiser, as a major fundraiser, right? Like you have clout.
Yeah.
But I was like, I mean, I don't. It was over, but it's also like feels like now. I don't think
he's clinched
coverage.
He's clinched.
Yes, with this, right? And that's kind of like what that image is of him taking the rings. And
but that's my point. Like I understand Wall Street Journal printing that. I understand the New York Post printing that image. You know what I mean? Like. I think we're going to come back to this moment and be very, very disgusted with ourselves after finding out what really went down and posting these like, you know what I mean? Like 6 months from now, we're going to find out this was all, you know, fucking prepared or whatever the fuck. And then we're all going to be looking back at that image and being like, wow, he's being an assassination attempt, you know, like
I think there's some sort of weird.
I hate it.
Yeah, I don't know if the responsibility here lays at the feet of liberal media to.
It's not just liberal media, all media,
or like yes, of journalists of all journalists to, because you're asking that they feel a sense of responsibility to put Trump in a very specific, like not put him in context, but like to evaluate him as a person, like straight up. But like it didn't work before. Like there were all this conversation that we had 8 years ago where people were just like, we were constantly being like, but we need to hold him accountable. Like this is like the actual lies and all this stuff. Like we are being dragged towards a conversation to place him inside of the context of like, because he is running, because we have to, like, no one should take him seriously. That conversation was happening inside the media because people like us, people that were trying to hold the journalists, like the Fourth Estate and Trump accountable, right? it didn't
Well, the
do
Republican
anything.
Party accountable.
Everything. Like, we were just trying to hold people accountable because the conversation inside of the country got so insane. Like, it felt like sometimes it felt like you were the only person who had the lights on. Do you know what I mean? Like, remember this era where it was like,
Yeah.
am I living in a different reality?
We
like,
are.
What?
We
Yes.
were.
But I mean, like, I'm talking about like as other people, like where it was like, can we not see the same color red? Like, are we not seeing? Because usually it would be like the assumption is that we are all seeing some varying shade of the same color, right? Even if the color you think is red is not the exact color my rods and cones are working red, it turns out you're seeing plaid.
Yeah, I don't know.
And
anymore.
it was like, it was
I don't
crazy.
Think we are.
Yeah, and so, but now I don't think
anymore.
that's why I don't think that kind of like dragging him towards that kind of accountability, like I think it's done. We just have to hold him inside of this context now.
I'm not arguing for drag.
Yeah.
I'm not arguing for him to be held responsible. Like, I know that's never going to happen. I'm talking about our media to be responsible.
Yeah, I mean that.
You know
like,
what
I don't
mean?
think they. I don't
Like,
think
I
they
don't
can
care
either.
about Trump being held responsible. Like, that's never going to happen.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. I don't think the media can either, because they're just as much.
They couldn't last time. That's what I mean.
So that's what I mean.
Like,
yeah.
So we haven't learned, is my point, is that we put his face on every fucking day until November 4th, and then we're doing it again with this victorious image. You know, like, no one has the balls to use a different image. I'm looking at every single news today. Every single place has the same exact image. And, you know, I get it. We're a capitalist society, but, like, that's the point, is that we keep making the same mistakes. Like, and we're like, oh no, what happened? How could he? Like, I don't want to hear that anymore. I don't want to be like, oh shucks, we're surprised again. Like, shut the fuck up. Like, we're doing it to ourselves, you know? And like, it's just like ugly to see that sensationalism and the need for clicks or clickbait or whatever, you know, capitalistic fuckery that we've like cornered ourselves into as a species. I think we should stop wanting decency. You know what I mean? Like, stop being like, oh, Biden shouldn't act the same way as Trump. We should be, you know what I mean? Like, it's like we're demanding like a certain amount of decorum from society at large, but everything we do on a daily basis is antithetical to that. You know, like, it feels like we're in a crazy house.
I mean, I don't know about whether or not getting down and I mean, I'm pro winning, and I am pro us figuring out a strategy that is effective. And being effective means that you win and that you're able to change minds, and whether or not that means getting into the muck, that whether or not we have our version of remember Joe the plumber. Remember?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, maybe like whatever it is. Like, I mean, we are the party of English majors. Like, the fact that we cannot come up with a winning slogan, a winning brand, like idea, a marketing strategy, to me is a goddamn like travesty.
Well, it's because, I mean, my point of view on that is that there's no we, there's no us. You know what I mean? Like, we're just saying like, hey, we're not them. Both of us are saying that. So like, that's exactly there's no identity behind the we.
And this is the branding. Like, the fact that we as a party cannot get it together enough to even think of something like this.
Right.
This is the tragedy.
They at least got a demagogue. You know what I mean? Like, they at least rallied.
How many English majors, how many theater majors do we have? But they're the party that has elected an actor and a salesman. To me,
technically a SAG. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yes. I'm just saying. No. I mean, I'm talking about Reagan. Reagan was a.
I thought you were talking about Trump.
No, I'm talking about like throughout history, right? Like, if you go back, like, it's also the Republican Party, like, you know, that gave you Lincoln, right? Booth
kind of
was like, I mean, technically,
really wasn't
right?
the GOP. Yeah, sure.
Right, but he was like a Republican and like whatever version of it. And then Booth, the person that killed him, was an actor. I'm just saying that like we used to be like, I think that there's so much possibility inside of the party and so much talent. It is just a travesty to me that we cannot figure it out.
Yeah.
That there's no one like if you are an English
I
major
blame
or a theater major.
liberalism on this, you know, like it's
Sure,
because
but I
we're
mean, they're all
like
gonna-
gritting
sure.
our teeth and being like, we're not bad like that, you know, but we are. And by we, I mean liberals, like white liberal leaders. It's not, there isn't enough of like an identity for us to rally behind. Like we can't, I bet if we had an open election or whatever this coming Chicago's going to be lit up. But if we had like an open ticket or something, you know, like
maybe we'll see. I mean, because given with the security concerns, who knows what'll happen. But like, I think, you know, what you're talking about, Peter, is like, you know, yes, this is what's happening right now, like that there is no identity inside of the DNC. That's what I mean. It's like, that's what I think is missing. Like, and I do really encourage any sort of young people that are liberals, you know, and you hate neoliberals, you are the next generation and you will be supplanting that guard. So if you're an actor, think about your voice. Who do you think is the most compelling demagogue throughout time? And adopt certain like characteristics, cultivate a cult of personality around you. Start your Instagram following now.
Invest in some Riz. Get some Riz, bitch. There's no one I could think about in the DNC that I would vote for or that I would stump for.
Start running for student body and then practice it. Practice like convincing people in the mirror. Get a friend of yours that writes really compelling one-act plays and ask what it would be like what if we wrote a play about someone becoming president, and play out that role.
Method.
Get method. Go for it.
Champagne.
And then let's go. And so let's craft a message. Let's get there. And I do believe in I think like given how people coming out of the liberal arts are getting paid, I'm telling you, this is lucrative. Politics is show business, baby. It's show business for, they always say it's show business for ugly people. If you're busted, but you love to act, consider politics. Consider it. I mean, because now, even if you're a writer, you still have to be somewhat hot. So if you are busted and you are talented and inclined towards the liberal arts, consider politics.
Yeah.
Like I highly encourage, because DC is so like it is LA for policy. So like I think, you know, it's like it's where things happen. You know, deals are being made.
Come on, Uggos, save us. We will be saved by the ugly. We need you. All right, thanks so much for listening. We're going to be talking about in the next episode, in our kind of marathon of episodes, we're going to be talking about Eunji's solo show that just went up. So tune into that. Bye.
Bye.